I have a message I would like to express. First and foremost, thank you for listening and for being receptive. Remember, all knowledge is knowledge of self. The issue of police murdering Black people is an atrocity. It's something that's been going on for years and years through history. Nothing new, and yes, racism is a world problem that must be addressed and decreased with action plans and smart solutions. For example, I read in the US during police training, they spent 58 hours learning how to shoot a gun, but just 7 hours on learning how to de-escalate a situation. Yes, there is work of re-education that must be done. But I want to try to get you to a bigger perspective here. I like to call it the eagle eye. The media is owned by central banking and Federal Reserve. If you don't know what central banking is, go ahead, research. There are tons of wonderful YouTube videos explaining who controls the monetary system. I'm not a politician or economic expert. I'm not even into politics. I actually dislike watching news. I'm just a humble human artist expressing itself. So coming into this eagle vision, we've made this planet all about money. We trade our time, our lives to work for corporations. We slave ourselves for paychecks, for money. But who controls all the money? Who is under this monetary system? Definitely not the workers or the CEOs, nor the government. It's beyond this. The founding fathers. In the year 1798, Mayer Rothschild builds up an empire, sending his 6 sons through all major capitals in Europe, forming a central banking. Keeping it all within the business, with the family business. John Rockefeller, with refining oil, he controlled 90% of oil supply. Morgan had the gold supply. DuPont family built his wealth by being number 1 on supplier of gun manufacturers and dynamite. What about the Bush group, the proxy wars, the forced labor? These groups have financed disasters like the Industrial Revolution, both sides of Napoleonic War, etc. They have control of both parts of the whole, profiting out of human misery, profiting out of war. And don't get caught up with the names. These may be the ones we see, but perhaps the real ones are protected. As a country, we've been stealing natural resources from others, displacing the people, slaving them, just for the sake of more. We always want more, bigger things, more materialism, more consumption, more greediness. And the media loves manipulating the narrative to control the people. We have to be smart, rational, and less emotional. Have you asked yourself the question of how quickly we flipped from the coronavirus being on point with social distancing to gathering to riots and protests? There is a lot of manipulation from the media and outsiders. I'm not saying the virus doesn't exist, but what are the real statistics? I heard that they were giving $13,000 to say it was coronavirus, the cause of death, and $39,000 for use of ventilators. Well, in the background, they are deploying the 5G, this harmful energy radiation that has a potential to kill us. But who cares about that, right? What about Jeffrey Epstein and his mysterious death in the maximum security prison? Are we buying that one too? Another controversial point, apparently the murderer cop and George Floyd knew each other. They worked in a nightclub or something. There's a big theory that both are Masons. He had the same tattoo, Boule symbol as LeBron, order out of chaos. His brother is Stephen Jackson. People that study symbolisms and are decoding, and there is real evidence about this. Go ahead and look up Real Renegade and Stand Up 9/11 on IG. They have valuable content about it. And please watch it before they delete it, since we know that they control what's on social media too. Please go and listen to their live streams. They're really interesting. So it makes me question who projected racism into that situation, and how it become into a racism war? What if the murder had nothing to do with racism? We don't even know. That's my point. It's a clear example of how humans immediately make assumptions about situations. Fight or flight. How easily we get brainwashed to react impulsively. We get triggered immediately to what we hear or see, and we love to follow, to feel we are part of something, that we belong. We need to awake from this herd mentality. Another curious detail is that apparently the people starting violent riots in Minneapolis were outsiders. Vandalizers are being funded. Who's behind that? Have you seen the video on Instagram of a cop in Spain, and I think also in France, stepping his knee on someone? It's a Masonic sacrifice. This war is not about race, people. Go do your research. Those who know me know that I'm super pro of freedom of speech and expression, but when it comes to taking it to the level of breaking into businesses, robbing, setting things on fire, looting, it is also a criminal act, just like homicide. Small businesses coming out from COVID, getting back on their feet, they come to work with broken windows, destruction of their property. That's not acceptable. This merits an investigation, a deep one. Law and order is important, and we forget how policemen are on the frontline workers, putting themselves in danger for our protection. I am from Mexico, yes, number 2 in the list of corruption, and I can say that the federal police saved me in a criminal act where I was victimized. Not all are bad cops. They're doing their job. But there is a dark force that want to divide us. The bigger picture, right? Divide and conquer. Clear example of it. They want to dismantle society, and we are making it happen by letting them create violence among each other. So instead of fighting and dividing races, let's come together, black, white, yellow, red, and let's be colorblind together. I think as a society, we are slightly confused. We should focus on the behavior of our actions, how we respond to fear, to rage. We need to awake. Clear example of fighting like animals over toilet paper and then realizing that that was unnecessary. To me, that is more important to be highlighted than the actual problem. What's happening here? You are being programmed by the Matrix. Good work, slaves. People with power will abuse their power. The people that run the economy are a big, deep swamp of filthy, rich people molesting the youth, and with so many awful truths I don't even want to know. Like conspiracy about Kennedy, the death of Tesla. For interesting inside conspiracy theories, please look up David Icke. He has a lot of videos have been actually deleted and banned, but still there's information out there. He has great insights about the COVID and many other topics. Also, Certified Health Nut on YouTube, IG, great content, as I said, stand up, 9/11. And yesterday, Black Tuesday, that's exactly what they wanted, to close a communication on election days. What does this tell us? Do research. So, breath, step back. Neptune is in Pisces, a position that hasn't been presented since the Civil War. So things are heated up, and this is just the beginning. I invite you to cool down, sober up, go within your subconscious mind and start asking yourself some real questions. Face your inner reality and connect with your intuitive guide that resides within you. What do you value the most in this material world? What world are you leaving to your kids? What are we teaching to the younger generation? How do you relate to authority? What is freedom to you? What do you need to change? What is the story you're telling to yourself? Are you free from your addictions? What celebrities are you worshiping? What do you believe in? Who's behind the wheel? Acknowledge the power of choosing. We choose our words, our action, our thoughts. Find the wounds and heal. Empty your clutter and drop the baggage of trauma since you're projecting it to others. This will be an act of bravery and courage. This is not about police brutality or Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. Take your blinders off. This is about awakening. This is about exposing the truth. Why is no one talking about the real problems like sex trafficking or sacrificing cults or the disproportion of wealth or the fact that other countries like Japan and Australia banned the 5G while we are still building our towers? Please go and do deep research to stay awake. Raise awareness to create change. And if the martial law is applied, it's because of you. We fell for this spell. Peace.